Time for another Coindepo video. In the last one I was talking about the Coindepo token and the release. Well, the release was not as smooth as you could have hoped for because it was rescheduled for only 4 days, so not that big of a deal. But communication sometimes is not yet the best because it was only announced a couple of hours before I should have gone live, and I highly doubt they just knew until then that it's not going to be live on the day. But anyway, it's now live on MexC and Weeks. At the end of the video I will be also talking about something that really lets me look very good into the future for Coindepo, so watch until the end to know what I'm talking about. And I've got to say, it held up better than I expected. So the initial listing price was for 10 cents, we're currently on weeks.com, and we are currently moving around 0.083, so 8 cents and a bit. I was expecting a dump. I mean, they have a vesting in place, so it could not have dropped that much because the whales that in the pre-sale bought could not drop everything at once, but still hold better than I would have expected, and it seems to get slowly a bullish sentiment. So it is rising again, so probably not, at least for me, is not the reason why I hold it. It's not because of the token price itself, actually, it's because of the token advantage program. This one should have started on the 10th of October, but they just released a couple of hours ago, I think, an announcement that this will be postponed as well, but this time, because of good news, then the MexC listing is now officially announced. It will be on there on the 14th of October, and the token advantage program will start on the 20th of October, and until then we receive for the Coindepo token 50% RPR in the portfolio. So if you're currently thinking about buying some Coindepo, this would be now the time to receive an additional interest, because after the 20th of October it will drop to the normal rates that that we get for everything else on crypto. And as well, you need to be aware that you do not get it daily, so you get the normal rate, so I don't know, 18%, 21%, depending on where you put it in. And on the 20th or the day after, you will get the airdrop, adds the rest that was missing to make it to the 50% RPR. And we also already announced the first time when the token burn will happen. So when you look at the tokenomics page, they talk about it where we want to purchase and buy back and burn on a quarterly basis based on their profits. And you can see here they plan to do it the first time on January 2026, when up to 20% of the Q4 profits. I mean, up to is nice. Let's see what it actually is. I'm expecting not much on the first burn cycle, but nonetheless, it's very good that we now have a very clear plan of action, and hopefully with the MexC listing, this one gets a lot more volume. And with more volume, it should, as far as I understood it, also qualify for even bigger and more exchanges. So this token can maybe then be available on a lot more exchanges as well, which should help, hopefully, to stabilize the price or even push it up. Maybe we get a huge bump, I don't know. But from so far, after now, I think 14 days, 10 days, I have no clue when the listing was actually on. It was already a couple of days ago. But the price is stabilizing at 8-ish cents, so looking good. And if you're interested about the Coindepo token advantage program, it's basically saying depending on how much percentage in the token coin worth of your total portfolio you have, you will receive additionally interest rates, and you can also get reduced rates on the loans if you take any. So for example, if you would have $1,000 in the portfolio size and more than $150 of those are in Coindepo token worth, you would be tier 4, and you would get a 3% rate increase on your deposit. So for example, instead of daily 12% on your Bitcoin, you would receive 15%. You get a reduction of 3% on the interest you pay, And they also introduce the possibility to, instead of receiving the payments in your coin, you can also ask for it to be paid in Coindepo token. And if you do that, you get 2% on top. I will do that in the beginning because I will not be in tier 4. I will be around tier 3 or something, depending on the exact Coindepo token price. So I probably will do this 2 to 4 weeks. This should help me reach the tier 4. Because these 3% are something you cannot just do not do. I think 3% more Bitcoin over the year from 12% to 15%, which I think is really great. Coming back to the communications thing that I said in the beginning, that is not their strongest suit yet. Also one thing that makes me very, let's say, looking bright for Coindepo in the future was something that the Coindepo community in Telegram shared, so the official account. It's also that it's saying, at the same time, our business model is quite different. We combine crypto-backed lending and microcredit operations, which allow us to provide sustainable yields instead of purely speculative ones. It's also not a secret that current rates reflect our investors' strategic goal to grow Coindepo's market share at this stage, even if that means additional support from them. Over time, rates will gradually adjust to maintain a healthy long-term balance. For me, this sounds like they have a long-term plan, which is always good. And yes, it will probably lead to a reduction in the yield, but I think depending on what the yield is, this is perfectly fine. If it goes down 1 to 3%, it's perfectly fine. It's still one of the best yields in the market. And even if it goes down further and we are not happy anymore at that point, we still collected the yield until then. So, but I think this is a really good thing to communicate. I don't know why it's only basically sitting in the Telegram chat as a response to something else. This should be somewhere on their main page that they have a long-term strategic outlook. This is the steps that we are doing now. This is why the yields currently are this high, because the question often arises, why or how is this sustainable? Can this be a real thing with such yields? And if these are currently backed from the investors' pockets, this explains it. And we're also aware that it may not be sustainable for the long term and need to reduce, but this is also good if they think and know and have the levers to adjust to be healthy in the long term.